What's up, Fight Family? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we're going to be breaking down some of the hottest boxing stories and latest in boxing news. We cover all boxing here, all boxers. So we're going to fluctuate throughout the channel. Please lock in, enjoy the show. And like always, let me get set up here and we're going to get right into this boxing. Let me know that you hear me loud and clear. And when you come into the live stream, please give the videos a like and we'll get this show started. Into That's what's up. Sounds good. Everything seems to be checking out. I like the sound. Well, we have a lot to talk about what's going on in the world of boxing today. Most of the debate has been on whether or not who Tank Davis's next opponent going to be, whether or not it's going to be Shakur Stevenson. Rumors are saying that Isa Pitbull Cruz knows a little bit more than what he's telling, but they kind of like one reporter, I think it was Shots Out to Fight Hub, right? They were doing an interview with him, and he kind of like, um, you know, didn't reject the notion that he's interested in fighting Tank Davis. Shall he be victorious over Jose Valenzuela, August 3rd? So, um, you know, let's just pause right there for 1 second. Okay. I've seen this before in the sport of boxing, where boxing has a tendency of putting the cart before the horse, meaning they try to schedule fights before, and what up end up happening? The guy end up losing. Yeah. And then the fight that they wanted to build never took place. Case in point, just to pull one out, Dante Wilder was going to be scheduled once again in Saudi to fight Anthony Joshua because the Prince wanted that fight. And all Dante Wilder had to do was beat Parker, even losing at the Zan. They wanted that fight first from Zan. He lost it then. They another opportunity arose and he lost that one again. That's when boxing was trying to announce fights. It's just like them trying to announce Terrence Crawford fighting against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Shall he be victorious against Israel? Right? And I'm like, yo, these guys gotta like boxing wants to find something else to talk about. So everybody wants to be the next person to announce a different opinion to get everybody talking. You know what I mean? So what's up? Salute. Uh, so everybody wants to bring out the next boxing topic. So they're rushing along these fights, and they got fights in front of them. It was announced that Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson were supposed to fight in November, and I try to tell you guys I thought that was fake news, right? And look, it was. My sources were right. Tank wasn't gonna talk about anything until he got back from the Olympics. He wanted to take this little time out to help out our Olympic team, to boost the morale of the fighters out there. So I found it odd that that channel, IFT whatever TV, I forgot what the channel's name was there. It was what was it? IFL TV. Yeah, that they made the announcement and that a lot of people reported it from it. And I get it. I get it. Everybody wants to talk about the next big fight. But these fighters have these fights in front of them. Isa Pitbull Cruz ain't going nowhere until he makes that title defense. Then you could talk about his future. Legitimately, whether or not you fans are on board with the fact that you want to see Tank Davis versus Isa Pitbull Cruz 2, let me explain something why that fight is actually better for Tank Davis rather than Shakur Stevenson. Stay with me. Check this out. Yes, he fights Shakur Stevenson for unification at the 135 for the WBC. And if Tank was to win that fight, he would have 2 belts. Let me show you why the Eastside Cruz fight is better for Tank. And it's better for his legacy. Why? Because if he moves up to 140 to fight Eastside Pitbull Cruz, and he beats Eastside Pitbull Cruz for that WBA 140-pound championship, that's a real WBA world championship. It's not a title, it's a championship. Okay? That'll make him officially 3-division world champion. By beating Shakur, he remains a 2-division world champion. With one fight, he can claim what he so desperately wanted. Okay, for instance, remember, Tank Davis won his first belt at 130 pounds. He lost that belt on the scale. He went back and fought for another title at 130. Although he won 2 belts at 130, that's only one weight division. You can't count the same belts in the division twice. Once you win 1 belt, you're officially a 1-division world champion, right? Okay. So when he went up to 135 and won a title, key word here, title, not championship, title. I know it's a little confusing, but I'm going to hip you and put you onto game. This is how you can tell the difference. A title is usually an interim title. It's a piece of the world championship. You are not officially the champion. So what you have is a world title. That's how they feed it to you. He had an interim belt, Tank Davis, right? He went up to 140. He fought Mario Barrio. He won another title, not an official world champion. So technically, even though he made those 2 weight jumps from 130 to 135 to 140 and won 2 interim belts, he was never officially the champion. Because as we all know, at 135, at the time, Devin Haney had all 4 belts. So it's impossible for him to be the champion. Devin Haney got the belts. And he was never the champion at 140 because Mario Barrio and him fought it for an interim belt. And no matter where you are in boxing, like just because you won a title at 130 doesn't mean it carries over with you to the next weight divisions. No, that title stays at 130. You see? So had he retired in sports in that moment in his career, he would have went down as a 1-division world champion. That's my whole point. Tank Davis would, at that point in his career, only had 1 division. Although he won a title in 135, a title in 140, he only had that until the night he went into the ring with Frank the Ghost Martin to solidify the title and the upgrade that they notified him via email that he's been elevated to the regular champion in the WBA. Now, that regular champion is an official belt. You defend it a few times and become the super WBA champion. You don't win the super right away. You have to earn the super. You have to upgrade the regular. It turns into the super. That's how you make the belt the super. Okay? Just like the WBO. Same structure. The WBA kind of like it stays the same. Its power and it just builds off its interims, etc. So, by him moving up his 3rd weight division to fight Eastside Pitbull Cruz, that'll solidify Tank Davis as a 3-division world champion. Yes, it will. And I think that status is more, you can always go back and relive the Shakur Stevenson fight. After securing the belt for 3 divisions, then go compete against your fellow countrymen and compete against Tank Davis to see who the top USA fighter is. I want my USA fighters also competing for the rest of the belts. Perhaps in between time that Tank Davis and Isaac Pitbull Cruz is getting it on, Shakur Stevenson can either fight Lomachenko or the other Ukrainian champion. He solidifies and unifies his belts. Those belts, he goes out and get one of those belts or something, right? Then he could come back and fight Tank Davis for massive unification. And on Shakur Stevenson's side and negotiation, even though Tank Davis is the massive star, you bring two belts to the equation as Shakur Stevenson. Are you following me? You see? Now Shakur can get that money he's always wanted in the game. Okay? Because it shows that Shakur didn't take certain offers, Devin Haney, because of financial money. And they've been lowballing him. They've been really lowballing Shakur. Shakur feels he's worth this much money. And who am I to tell Shakur Stevenson how much money or what his value is? That's Shakur Stevenson. He could hold out for whatever he wants, right? Some of us think that he didn't make the best boxing decisions and it came back kind of to bite him. But maybe at the time he felt like he wasn't getting fair play, right? Okay. But in this sense, Tank Davis already got his contract with Prime. You don't got to worry about Tank Davis. You just got to bring something to the table. And if Shakur fought one of the other champions, guess what? He brings two belts to the table. Now you got leverage. Now you have something that A, Tank Davis wants, 2, B, the fans want. So you got the support from the backing of the fans. You got all of us that want this fight. And you bring the belts. So it'll be bigger that way. If Tank Davis took the Eastside Pitbull Cruz route, I wouldn't blame him because I see his vision. I see where he wants to go with this. You see, 3 divisions, right? Them belts in the 135 are gonna be there. You never know if Eastside Pitbull Cruz loses that belt. You already know that man, Tank. You already been in the ring with him. And when you've been in the ring with someone already, within like at least a 3-year span, a 2-year span where that he couldn't have changed that much, you're familiar with him. That's the same reason why Isaac Pitbull Cruz wants to shoot it back with Tank. Because his whole basic argument is I know what he's like now. If I had to do it again, I'd win. That's what that's what he's selling. That's what he's selling. He's telling you, yo, I already fought him. I know what he like. I took his punches, right? If I fought him again, I'd beat him. And Tank know what the problem with Tank in that fight, if I'm keeping it 100, Isaac Pitbull Cruz was shorter than him. And Tank's whole life, he's been fighting upwards. Almost 90% of the men you put in the ring with Tank Davis were all bigger than him. I laugh sometimes when they try to do that. Oh, they bring in a smaller guy and brought him up to fight Tank Davis. Bro, he's 5'5". When he fought Leo, they try to say that, and Leo was mad taller than him. I was like, how the hell are they calling him the smaller guy? Right? He just cut weight and when the fought chose to fight in the lower weight divisions, but Leo definitely was not the smaller man, right? That's what happened with Tank Davis. Tank Davis, his angles of his natural, the way he trained his mind, it's not technically everything that what he was seeing. He would see that Isaac Pitbull Cruz is low, but his body was trained to throw a little higher. And although he, in certain situations, Tank was keeping focus and he was on point with the target. But in some exchanges, Tank is going right about here is where he should be standing. His jaw should be here. You see what I'm saying? And he's throwing a punch. He was catching Issa on the top of the head. That's how Tank broke his hands. You see? I see y'all typing. Let me chat with y'all. What's up, Frontline? How you doing? Salute, baby. What's up, Leo? What's up, YS21? What? Yeah, it looks too close. Dishakur, low ball, Frank. Look, this is the thing with negotiations. I'm not in the room, right? And you hear all these things, whether or not someone lowball somebody, somebody's trying to price themselves out. They saying that Shakur Stevenson was trying to price himself out now with Tank Davis, which I believe that was false. That was false. That was a false narrative. What's good, baby? How you doing, CJ? So, I can't tell you what a fighter's value is what he believes he's worth, man. That's the honest to God truth. If a fighter believes he's worth more money, who am I to tell him, no, you're not? This guy is actually getting in the ring and taking a chance of receiving brain damage. Legitimately. At any fight, anything can go wrong, and you can even be killed in a ring. Just with one fight, you have that kind of fight. There have been men and women that got into that one fight and have never been the same. Yeah. Adrian Broner was never the same after that loss. Tell me if he was the same. There's a lot of fighters you can point out through history with just one fight. So when a fighter is asking for money, and sometimes you hear that the money amount kind of jumped up, maybe they've been sick of taking low ball offers for a long time. Maybe they're putting their foot down and they're demanding more money. And if you ask me, the money's not worth it. It's really not. Yo, it's great that Tank Davis is making upwards of 33, $39 million a fight. And may God protect him, right? But what good is that by 50 years old, you're on the beach slurring, right? And your entire family is enjoying themselves with your money. And you can't even remember what you did with your glasses and they're on top of your head. Honey, have you seen my glasses? They're up here. And like some boxers gotta wear depends. Not even their bowel movements are working. Yo, a lot of boxers suffer different forms of brain damage and it comes gradually. You've heard these boxers throughout the year. Look at Roy Jones now. Look at Tarver, Magic Man Tarver. Have a conversation with that man. Even Floyd, even look how many less times Floyd Mayweather in a 20-year career, he probably got hit the less out of any boxer in history. Floyd Mayweather, and he's slurring. He slurs every now and then. He forgets what he's saying in interviews every now and then, and he repeats himself. You see the interviews, and Floyd got hit the less. So imagine the rest of these guys. They're losing brain cells in there. And if you ask me, the money's not enough. So when a person asks me, you think Shakur lowball Frank, or you think Shakur felt like he was getting lowballed? It's a dirty sport sometimes. And these fighters got to speak up for themselves. You know what I mean? They got to speak up for themselves. Look, right now, we got Jaime Munguia made a quick return back to the ring after the Canelo Alvarez defeat, right? And Jaime Munguia is scheduled to fight August, I believe, 20th against Eric um Berzenguez. I'm sorry if I messed up your last name. But his first name's Eric, right? I looked this guy up. He's like 32-0. He's undefeated. Uh, if you ask me, he's got a padded record, right? I don't, I've seen this guy maybe fight once, actually, just once. It wasn't all that impressive. It was a long time ago, I remember, like 2 years ago, some shit like that. I forget where it was, but Jaime Munguia is entering back into the ring too, as well. You know, uh, fighters gotta fight up, stick up for themselves, and and talk for their own contracts and what have you. But the truth is the truth. We're competing here, and our American team is looking to bring some of these titles home this year for our American team. And who we got on the front line for the top guys in the American team? We got Crawford leading the way. We got Tank Davis. Okay. We got Devin Haney. We got Shakur Stevenson. We got Teofimo Lopez when he wants to claim the American flag. Uh, we have when Ryan Garcia comes back, that's another American fighter. We have a lot of top American fighters in other weight divisions. There's just so many of them to think about. But I'm trying to give you an example of what our American team looks like. And although some of those fighters, you just might be a fan of one in particular fighter, that's okay. And that's respectable. You don't have to like every fighter. That's cool. You could always have your favorite, but just recognize that your favorite might be on the same team as a future opponent. Meaning, I would love for Tank Davis to fight against Shakur Stevenson in a competitive nature to see who the best USA boxer is. You know, currently Japan, I believe, is having a strong era right now. And Naoya Inoue is leading the way for the Japan team. They have 10 world champions, and even Naoya Inoue's kid brother is also one of the Japan champions that is currently among the 10 champions they have. So Naoya Inoue in the Japan team is very strong, and they're playing the game right now. They're showing they're a force to be reckoned with. They have other fighters and options that are pursuing world titles. Let's see where they end up in the future. As for Mexico, Team Mexico, Canelo Alvarez is leading the way with Team Mexico. Jaime Munguia is making a ring return. Another Mexican fighter. We have Mexican fighters on the August 3rd card, where that we have Isa Pipo Cruz and Jose Valenzuela fighting on that card. And when the dust settles in the ring on that night, Mexico will have a champion once again. Salute to Mexico. What's up, Lionheart? How you doing, brother? Uh so there's and then the Ukraines are leading the way right now. They don't have as many champions, but they have the one title that is the strongest. They have the heavyweight championship of the world. And when you own the heavyweight championship of the world, undoubtedly you have the most prestigious belt in all of boxing. We're going to need that. We're going to need that. So, Ukraine, shouts out to you guys in fair and competitive nature, but we coming for them belts. We coming for them belts. We got some young top prospects, heavyweights, and once they turn into contenders, Torres, let's see where these guys end up. Okay. So uh there's a lot of strong teams out there right now. Some of the guys, some of the nations don't have such big teams, so I'm gonna like combine them a little bit to give them. I believe that the Filipinos, since only in the lower weight divisions, I'm gonna connect them with the rest, like Brazil and all them other guys, and I want to make like a bracket, to like divide the teams and stuff. It doesn't mean because we're on the same team we can't compete against each other. No, we can compete against each other, of course. But in the right moments. And I had expressed this on my last live about Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson being in this situation where now it seems like everything landed on their shoulders, right? And the way, like, stay with me, right? Check this out. This is what I mean. Because of the fact that we didn't get back in the day, we didn't get the Devin Haney versus Tank Davis. We didn't get the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. We didn't get Tank versus Teofimo Lopez. We didn't get Ryan Garcia versus Teo. There was a lot of fights that were left on the table. You understand? Once we got the Errol Spence fight, it was so one-sided that the fans wanted more blood. They enjoyed the night, but they still wanted that. They were left with that big mega fight, not a one-sided event. So speed things up to present day. Now the fans are on Tank Davis and Shakur like hard. Like hard. They like, man, they like, nah, y'all gotta fight each other. Nah. And you should hear some of these channels, fans just going back and forth against both of them, right? And I understand the competitive nature, but actually, in this present time, it would make more sense to take out the other guys first. But the fact that everything is kind of landed on their shoulders, it's they're gonna get a lot of fucking shit behind this. Had we gotten some of those big fights out the way, I don't think that the fight fans would be so hard on both these guys, because you should hear some of the things they're saying online. It's like these guys want to take it to the street for their fighter. They're willing to like pull up over Tank Davis over an opinion. Let's just calm down. We're just stating, and sometimes people can be real disrespectful and say some crazy stuff and it just gets you amped up. I get it. It's up to you to keep your composure. I can't keep you calm. You got to keep your head, your head level. What's up, guys? Frontline, what you got to say? J. Paul, what? Not J. Paul. What? J. Paul Rivera is looking for Puerto Rico at 126. Lionheart says it's hard for one to root against Naoya Inoue, the American, but he is everything I look for in a fighter. Listen, Naoya Inoue is just a special talent. You know, um, I know you might hear this phrase every now and then, but if if I was really like taking this phrase to heart, which I am, this is the truth. Naoya Inoue was born to fight. He truly was born to fight. And when I think about men and fighting and boxing, I rarely say that. What's up, Bam Bam? How you doing, brother? Thank you for checking in. Smash that like button for me, baby. Um, you're a fan of Bam Bam Boogie? Yo, so Naoya anyway is he's just a special talent. There not a lot of kind of there's not a lot of fighters that come around like him every so often. He's truly a generational talent. And you know, we're in an interesting era in boxing. People might say that boxing has dipped or fell off, or that they're not a real popular sport. I'm starting to disagree. I see that men like Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and the list goes on, even from talented heavyweights and Ukrainian fighters, Japanese fighters. I can see how the sport is evolving. These guys weren't born yesterday. This was 20 years ago, at least. These started their journey to get better. We're talking about this is 20 years ago to get us to in preparation to where we're at now. Add 10 years to that. So it's about 30 years. This is like 30 years into to the making of what was occurring when Terrence Crawford was a kid. What Naoya Inoue was doing when he was a kid. They didn't wake up yesterday a fucking talented fighter. So what do you think the next wave's going to be? If that wave is pushing up this kind of talent, you guys are going to see. Boxing, you guys are going to witness. You guys think you're in love with the fighter you're in love with now? There's another Terrence Crawford coming up that ladder. There's another Naoya Inoue coming up that ladder. We just got to find out who he is and what he looks like. He might not be Japanese this time. He might be Irish. For all I know, he might be Ukrainian. He might be fucking Chinese. He could be Brazilian, Dominican, Puerto Rican. I don't know. I don't know. But I would love for someone to take that kid to the side right now, that they see that talent. They see that kid that's a born fighter, and they know that this kid needs to fight, or he's just gonna go down that wrong path. And that's why we need role models in our community. And we need these fighters to turn into coaches. We need coaches to open their gym doors. And we need these people not to hide their secrets. It used to be that a lot of coaches and gym doors would only teach so many pupils. Then they would take that to the grave with them. Mayweather never wanted to show anybody the Mayweather style until he realized and woke up one day and said, I gotta find the next Mayweather, and I'm willing to teach. So you know when when boxing starts to evolve in so many different ways, when I talk about that, I talk about boxing evolving in all aspects. Sometimes I talk a little fast, and I think you guys are with me, and I should explain some of these things in the sense of that's why I know that this year was going to be like this. And I'm predicting that the following year, 2025, is even going to be more explosive. If you like the way boxing is going off this year, we haven't even got to the Terrence Crawford and the other rumor Saudi cards that are going to be put together. Then, uh, there we go, my man. How you? We got to give him. Let's see if it works. Tell me if you hear that, please. What's up? Zero Fallout, what's up? Super chat $10. If Naoya was born a couple hundred years ago, he would have been a shogun. Oh, come on, man. Yeah. He'd have been the king of his own temple in Japan. He'd have been like I was as I was reading that, I was trying to say something slick back, right? And I'm trying to think of the proper names of like the shogun. Is the shogun the highest one? Is that how it goes? I've seen a lot of Japanese movies, but American made, or like Japanese dudes, like I'm Japanese art. I've seen it, so I've heard the terms. I'm just not familiar with the ring. Yeah, I don't want to say no, I didn't want to say anything and make him like a smaller guy, and you guys would have been like, nah, that's like a guard or something. And so I guess, is the Shogun like the highest? Is that like how it goes in Japan? Then he would be that. Then he would definitely be that. Because there was like, I was looking up like like Mongolian history, how they almost took over the world, how close did Japan go? They had that massive battle with China back in the day, and this and that, and their structure was kind of like Americans' presidency, where that they had land and they had different like are they called Solons? No, no, Solons are like Egyptians, right? Yeah, that's that. See, I don't know the proper term. I don't want to say nothing like to disrespect Japan's culture, because right off the top I can't think of it. But you know what I'm trying to say, man. They had like different, and then that guy would be treated like a king. He would have been like a king of his town, but he had to answer, yeah, to the shogun. I think that's what it was. And all like the cartoons, they always had to answer like, yeah. So now he would be like the top dog, or he would be like the top dog's general, because I think he would be fighting more. I don't think he would be the type of person that would be sitting on a throne, right? I don't see him sitting on a throne like all day in a robe. I think he's gonna want to be out there with some battle armor and a sword that needs a lot of cleaning, because it's gonna be dripping in blood like all day. He'd have been nasty, right? Right? Because he's just got that killer instinct. He's got that warrior spirit, and he's got that I'm gonna take you out. I'm not gonna play with you. Yeah. That instinct, that killer instinct. He's not playing with you. He's not trying to be in there just mixing up punches, just throwing punches just to be throwing punches. No. Naoya Inoue, all his punches and whatever attack he is issuing in the moment, it's for a reason. He's either going downstairs, breaking you down, those body shots will pay off later in the later rounds. He's punishing your head up top and you know, causing your brain to rattle and stuff, giving you a lot to worry about. You got to start thinking about blocking those shots, and then he's going to go right back down to the body. He's just systematically breaking you down until he gets that kill shot. Naoya Inoue has bludgeoning power, one knockout power, you name it. And he knows how to Naoya Inoue's boxing cadence is he's just really special. He's really special. And he's hard to compare in the sense of other fighters. You know, I'm not going to compare my American guys to the top Japanese fighter. No, the top Japanese fighter, they got their guy. That's cool. You know, our top guy is Terrence Crawford, and that's how I'm going to view it. But Naoya Inoue, as far as a boxing record, that's a different conversation. That's where I can't. I'm going to tell the truth. I got to tell exactly what's on paper. If it's on paper, I can't leave it out. I can't leave it out. So as far as paper and you know, accolades go, Naoya Inoue's record's gonna speak for itself. I don't gotta speak for it. They can keep denying him all they want. They could keep even ignoring him all they want. They could say that he's little. Just because Terrence Crawford's guys are bigger, well, then obviously he's fighting a bigger guy. That guy has to be tougher than any guy that Naoya Inoue fought with, right? That's how you're gonna view it. That shouldn't be the way you view it. Competition is competition. Every time you walk into that square circle, you're taking or giving your opponent an opportunity of defeating you and taking everything away from you. So if we were speaking about paper, just straight facts, Naoya Inoue is probably the most decorated champion we have today. Yeah. He's about to defend all four belts for the second time. Every time he puts those four belts on the line now, that's a serious accolade right there. You mean to tell me that this guy went and did all your hard work? He went and chased down every champion individually or fought unification title matches, however he acquired them. He did all the work for you. Here you come in the right time, because this is like finding a needle in a haystack for a man to offer you a fight for four belts. When's the last time that happened besides Naoya Inoue? I think it was Saul Canelo Alvarez defended his belts against Jaime Munguia. Fuck, right. And then Josh Taylor was the one that defended his four belts against Jack Catterall. Right. Um Terrence Crawford never defended his four belts. Jamel Charlo never defended his four belts. Usyk never got to defend his four belts. Um Devin Haney defended his four belts against Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, brother. He has a four belt title defense. Holy shit, I be forgetting that. Good for you, Devin. Good for you. Wow, that's great. It's one thing to become a champion. As we all know, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of men and women in boxers that have come up in the rankings of boxing and never got an opportunity to fight for a world title. It took Terrence Crawford 6 years for someone to say yes to him, to finally get a shot at a world title. Okay? So it's not guaranteed. So when you win a world title, that's impressive. No one can take that away from you. But amongst champions, you're not really considered a champion until you defend it. When you defend the world championship, you go into a different champion level of champion amongst champions, you know? So, and that's just defending one. When you enter a room of men and women that successfully defended all four belts, it's a very small list. Very small list. Throughout the history of boxing, the list is probably this big. I could probably count everybody in the room with just both hands. I don't think we'll pass 10. I don't even think we'll get to 10 fighters. Yeah. We'd have to like introduce the 3 belt era or some shit. Yeah, but in a 4 belt era, nah. Out of the 9 men that have done it in a 4 belt era, um, 3 of them defended their 4 belts. 3 of the men. That's it. So that's a different fucking accolade of okay, and then another question is what's the man that defended his undisputed status the most? Who was it? I know Mike Tyson was undisputed for a long time, right? How many times did he defend? That's a 3 belt era, though. The WBO, Mike Tyson never owned the WBO. So I don't think we can count their era. But Naoya Inoue is about to set a record for title defenses on 4 belts. He's what he's doing is not easy. Oh my God, it's not easy. You don't want to be the man that gave this man an opportunity to stamp his name in the Hall of Fame, especially his ass wasn't going to the Hall of Fame regardless. He probably got 1 or 2 belts, but really wasn't Hall of Fame qualified. And on one night, you gave him a shot at 4 belts. Guess where he's going? Straight to the Hall of Fame. You gave him that. Not every man was going to be, reluctant to just give you that. And you do know that every time in fights like this, that gives that other guy that extra motivation while he's dreaming at night to prepare. So you better believe you're going to get the best version of that guy, anyone has ever seen. And he could shock the world. That's what kind of opportunity you're giving this guy. So, yeah, guys, it's not an easy thing to do. Naoya Inoue is truly special. He's definitely very talented. He's showing that he's bringing eyes to a division that normally your typically boxing fan has no idea about or can't even name one boxer in the welterweight or super welterweight divisions. And the reason why, if you're starting to know about Naoya Inoue, if you heard him in some boxing circles, even put against your favorite fighter, you got to ask yourself why. Even though you won't accept it, you might be a Terrence Crawford fan, and in your eyes, there is no better fighter than him. You don't even want to hear the argument. The fact that Naoya Inoue is coming into the argument should raise your eyebrow. What's all the fuss? Why are you comparing this guy and saying in some circles that this guy is actually better than my guy? Rather than, I'm not trying to change your mind, stay with Terrence Crawford, support your guy. But I also just don't want you to not experience a great fighter. And if you love Terrence Crawford, which means you love boxing, if you want to see another highly skilled boxer, Naoya Inoue, I guarantee you, will not let you down. Naoya Inoue is one of the best, fundamentally sound, and technical fighters we have today. It's truly, man, I I am truly thankful to watch that guy box, man. I like, he answered a lot of my questions. Could boxing get any better from my era and from the era I was watching? Could anybody be better or faster than Sugar Ray Leonard? Can anybody be better than Floyd? Can anybody be better than Marvelous Hagler, Felix Trinidad, Hector Camacho? A lot of great fighters. Every time I watch one fighter, I wonder if there was always someone else. And for a long time, I thought that boxing stood still. It didn't seem like it was getting any bigger in the sport and it wasn't getting any better. And all of a sudden, a few years ago, there's just these rays of sunshine started to appear. And I started to notice that boxing, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. There were stars like Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, Errol Spence Jr. They were really exciting. And they were the ones that started to elevate the sport for the next wave of your Tank Davises, your Devin Haney's, your Ryan Garcias, your Teofimo Lopez's started to filter in, you know? So, and that's what made it exciting in the sport. Uh, I really believe that, all these men and women give so much to give us excitement. And there's I just watched the era evolve in boxing and it started just to elevate, just like I'm starting to witness it but I'm paying attention to it in today's time. As Tank Davis and Devin Haney and the rest of Teofimo Lopez's and now the Naoya Inoue's and Terrence Crawford's and Saul Canelo Alvarez start to age, I'm starting to see a new wave starting to emerge. Abdullah Madison, Keyshawn Davis, Camille Moulton, Xander Zion, and the list goes on. You got your Floyd Schofields and all these other guys that are that's the next wave. And look how talented those young men look. Where are the little kids in the gym right now? What are they going to look like? If they keep teaching these kids better and they keep these kids out of trouble and out of these streets, and they at least bring some of them into these gyms and they work with these families, right? We can see the next Floyd. We can see the next Naoya Inoue. We can see the next Terrence Crawford. We got to teach each other. Can't die with our secrets, so that's what I like about boxing, man. um I can't wait right now to see Naoya Inoue back in action inside of the ring. He's fighting TJ Doheny. I believe he's going to get the best version of TJ Doheny, man. There's not a doubt in my mind that the number 2 ranked opponent TJ Doheny on that night, he's going to give everything he has to Naoya Inoue. You just imagine if you woke up tomorrow, TJ Doheny, and you get up and what are you what is your schedule? What are you preparing for? You're preparing to change your family's life, your actual family name. When you become that kind of champion, your family name is elevated. Fuck just you. When your wife and kids walk down the street, there goes the wife and kids champion. And from whatever city or town he's from, you know what you do for your family? From winning just one that them titles like that? That's 4 titles. Plus, for himself, he's stamping his name into the Hall of Fame. When Tom Brady started winning them Super Bowls, Tom Brady said, yo, you win, your family is honored. There goes the Brady family right there. You think they don't open doors for Brady's mom, Brady's dad? You're damn right they do. And in the city of Boston, red light carpet treatment for Brady's mom and dad, grandmom, sister, cousin. Yo, it's crazy. Yeah, you can do so much for your family name. So that's what kind of motivation TJ Doheny has? You mean to tell me he's just going to slack off? He just knows he's gonna lose. Oh, they're bringing me in here. I'm a cherry pick. He ain't no cherry pick. TJ Doheny raised his hand. Said, I'm the number 2 guy. I will go in there and jump on that Japanese dude like a spider monkey. That's what TJ Doheny said. And Goodman wasn't even man enough to honor what he out of his own mouth. And listen, I don't have a favorite fighter. I bring you boxing news and I discuss about boxers. You guys know me by now. I'm not biased. I'll talk a little shit here and there about some guys, but at the end of the day, I love them for as much as critical I am. I even got love for Sam Goodman. Yes, I do. All right. But Sam Goodman gets inside of that ring like he's beating his chest and he pulls out on the fight, takes a tune-up fight, breaks his hand, right? And he leaves Naoya Inoue in shambles. Because Naoya Inoue was supposed to fight him in this date with TJ Doheny, right? In September. He was supposed to fight him. So now they had to scramble and get someone else to fight Naoya Inoue because, see, Naoya Inoue, why should he suffer on his date because you pulled out? What he did was the warrior way. I don't care who you get. Just get me somebody. So who they come back with a name? Well, actually, probably Naoya Inoue would have said he did care who you got. He probably would have said, get me somebody in the top 5 in any major sanctioning body's ranking system. Whoever wants to smoke, tell him I'm willing. Casamera's phone got disconnected that day. Casamera went offline the day that Naoya Inoue became available. No one knew where Casamera was. MJ, it's reported he went into the witness protection program. So Stephen Kubo Fulton and MJ are in the witness protection program together. They didn't answer the phone either. Okay? So for all these guys that run their mouth about how much they wanted to fight Naoya Inoue, amazingly, his schedule opened up, and here goes the window of opportunity, and the only man to say, hey, I'm right here, was TJ Doheny. I found that ironic and quite funny. For all the guys the dude got in the ring, didn't want it. Everybody, where the fuck were these guys at when Naoya Inoue's schedule went whoop, 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 open, where he was willing to talk to anybody? And MJ's fucking promoting company are going to start asking for all these outrageous requests so that, Bob Arum would say no. Bob Arum got so fed up with him that he just wanted a way around MJ. Because he was basically telling MJ, Bob Arum's been around the game for a long time, and Bob Arum knows when a guy is either pricing himself out or asking for too much, so that's why you can say, oh, you're ducking me. That's why we don't want the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he's asking for like MJ was like, yo, I want my mom to be the referee. I want my brother to hold him back, and while I hit him, and I need Naoya Inoue to be blindfolded, or I ain't fighting. Outrageous request, Bob Arum was probably sick of him. Yeah, but it's amazing that I was like, wow, man, what the fuck happened? When I heard about Sam Goodman pulling out, like the day I heard about it, right? I started laughing because I said, yeah, now we getting that MJ fight, or we getting that Casamera fight, right? So I was like, oh shit. Yo, when they when they ever came back with Sam Goodman, TJ Doheny's name, I was like, what? Yo, I went online quick. I was like, where the fuck is Casamera? Where the fuck is all these guys? Yo, radio silence on the whole. Not even a text message that day from Casamera. You could compare the dates and the timing. Yo, not even a text message. Okay. I was like, these dudes is suckers, man. They talk all this shit about this Japanese dude, but yet they don't want to fight him. They act like they want to fight him. They don't want to fight him, bro. They don't want to, because that's a lot of risk. It, it's highly more likely that they're gonna lose. So that loss goes on your record. There are a lot of fighters that are trying to retire with the least amount of losses. And some fighters already suffered that one or two loss that they don't really want to take that third or fourth loss. You know what I mean? So they'll bypass the fight. At least they can retire and say, nah, I lost 2 times, 3 times, out of my record. And that's not bad. Once you start getting like 8 losses, 9 losses, Manny Pacquiao got 8 losses, for God's sake. Once you start, you fuck up your perceive, and it's just up to the fans to still support you and believe in you as the fighter you once was then, you know. But on paper, unfortunately, we would have to go by what's in the Hall of Fame and what did they actually do, not with Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, Manny Pacquiao was the most exciting, electrifying. He only had 1 loss at this time. If you cut the film right there, it would have been a great story. But the movie doesn't stop there, does it? No, some of these guys fucked up their fucking legacy, bro. Yeah. That's why Roy Jones Jr., man, fucking Bernard. Man, the list just goes on of how many times I've seen a legend ruin their own career. It's just countless. And then we're stuck arguing in. No, forget about that loss. He wasn't the same after that fight. And blah, 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 blah. You know it. I know it. No, that loss counts. No, that loss counts no matter what. I talked about this. If you got in the ring and you signed the contract, right? You're responsible for the outcome. Period. So win, lose, or draw, just like Errol Spence Jr., I came to the realization that it didn't matter about the car accidents at that point no more. I should have saw this much sooner. No excuses here. Did you get in the ring? Yes. Did you take the fight? Yes. Did you have a training camp? Yes. That's it. You lost. Fair and square. No excuses. Now, I'm not gonna live, and sometimes I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of playing that game. No, the 2 time car accidents, attached retinas. He wasn't the same. It was obvious. I'm guilty of playing that for some fighters until I catch myself and I realize, yo, what? Did he lose? Yes. Then the fuck are you talking about? So don't. I'm not gonna do that, bro. What's up, guys? What's up? CJ, what's up? What are you guys talking about? What's up, Lionheart? Fun line. What are you guys talking about? Actually, I think that Mike Tyson had 9 total title defenses. 9 title defenses. But where the when you look at Mike Tyson's 9 title defenses, was it like when he got 1 title, that's considered a title, right? And then he went after another champion to unify. That's a title defense and a unification, but he still wasn't undisputed. He didn't have all 3 belts at the time. When the minute he became undisputed, that he had all 3 belts, remember Mike Tyson used to lock him around his neck? He'd have 2 draped over, he'd have 1 around his waist with no socks on, a beast, right? But from the moment he became undisputed, how many times did he defend that? It's not how many title defenses you have, because he can have a title defense, but he might have been only defending 1 belt. It's still considered a title defense. But it's not, what I'm talking about is undisputed title defenses. Naoya Inoue is undisputed. He has all 4 belts. When he steps in the ring, he puts on the line 4 belts. Not 1, not 2, not 3. He's the undisputed. So yeah. So if you could look that up and drop that down for me, Lionheart, I'd appreciate that real quick. You know. Hey, yo, Lionheart too. By the way, where the how the hell can I do that? Oh, I think I would have to go to YouTube. Oh, right here. Little promotion in the building right here to Lionheart and to Frontline. My man's are always showing their loyalty. They always in the building. I need I gave you guys that wrench right there. Use it wisely for me. Yeah. Yeah, Frontline, I hear you. Oh snap, Lionheart. Got a new sheriff in town. His name's Lionheart. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So, for as much as a lot of these big fights we want, you got to ask yourself, I want to do a poll. Who would you rather Tank Davis fight? Seeing that Tank Davis is one of the faces in the sport of boxing, at least in the 135-pound weight division. Tank Davis is the face of boxing there. As far as 168, I think Saul Canelo Alvarez, he still gets a lot of love and everything, and he's a face of boxing. We talked about this, and I believe Terrence Crawford is the face of boxing, soon to be at the 154-pound weight division for us. You know, there are different types of faces in boxing, but boxing is big and has many divisions. So the plate is big enough for all of us to recognize and not to think that it has to be just one person. I believe Naoya Inoue is the face of boxing over there, Japan, Philippine. I believe he's the face of boxing over there. So, you know, in respect to each man and, for elevating the sport and bringing a lot of eyes to the sport. Thank you. Thank you for the men and women that lace it up and bring me out of my seat with that excitement. You know, um, there were many, many, many fights that I have witnessed in my day, you know, and recently to talk about one, just to bring it back to your memory. Do you remember the night when Errol Spence Jr. started walking down the locker room to enter to the ring to face Terrence Crawford? Do you remember when Terrence Crawford came out of that locker room with Eminem next to him? Do you remember the butterflies that were in your stomach in the anticipation of this matchup, the build up, the weigh-ins, everybody sharing all their feedback online about who they thought was going to win? This fight was so big in so many different ways to determine who is our best fighter. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. met on that night and truly cleaned out the entire division. Both men. There was no question on that night we were going to get the real champion. Although Terrence Crawford went in there and made it fairly easy, it was pretty a one-sided fight. That's not his problem. That goes to show you to the level of skill that Terrence Crawford has. he made it look easy. Remember, he's the one in there that developed a great game plan. His game plan was better to prepared for Errol Spence rather than the game plan Errol Spence had for him. Errol Spence's game plan went to shit. Terrence Crawford shut that down. Whatever he was thinking he was gonna do to Terrence Crawford, none of that shit worked. And I can remember that night, man. I can remember the excitement it brought me, the joy, the build up, everything about the fight. There were fights and nights like when Mike Tyson used to fight, and the energy that used to just run through my house. All my family members getting ready to watch a Mike Tyson fight. There was nothing like it, man. And what sealed the night for us is when to you got what you paid for. You wanted to see your favorite fighter win. There's nothing like watching your favorite fighter win. There's truly nothing like it, man. You know, remember leading into the fight when you're rooting or cheering for your favorite fighter, the unknown. You start to second guess yourself a little bit. You start to get worried. Every exchange, you kind of cringe, right? And you're just hoping for the best that your guy comes out on top. And then all of a sudden you hear it, pong, and the guy drops. And you just jump out of your seat and just let it out. Some of the screams I have let out in my lifetime, I can say, man, they were good. They felt good. Listen, boxing has given me a lot of joy and a lot of memorable moments. And some of us need sports and combat sports because some of us were truly born to fight, and some of us were born to be fans. We don't always have to have or be born with God giving talent or to be the ability to fight to understand what's going on. There are a lot of you guys out there. You guys might not be, or be blessed with the ability or to be an actual fighter, but that doesn't mean that you guys don't know what you're talking about. A lot of you guys know exactly what you're talking about, and you enjoy the sport of boxing. And um, for these men and women to keep the sport alive, to keep bringing that excitement to us, it's unmatched. If you were to take sports away, you take football, basketball, baseball away, what are you gonna have? A 6'8", 17-year-old, 225-pound kid standing on your corner with nothing to do, no sports, or all those kids that were born to fight. Let them form a little gang right outside your neighborhood because they ain't got no sports. Nah, man, sports, it has to be an outlet for a lot of things. And although some people might look at boxing like barbaric or inhumane, too many going in, they don't understand the fire of a fighter. They don't understand that shit don't turn off in your head. When there's men and women that say they truly love this shit, they truly love getting punched in the face. Mike Perry being one of them. Men like that, they need this. They need, uh, those are the kind of men that will fight you, get up, shake your hand, and go out to dinner with you. Nothing personal. Nah, I just want to fight. That's it. If I knock you out, I knock you out. You knock me out, fuck it. We fighting. Right? I just want to fight. And I want to get better at fighting. And there's men in this world that need that. They truly need it. It's a fire that burns inside of them that can't be extinguished. They're just going to look for something else to do. And boxing and combat sports provide that for the fighters of the world. And hopefully they grow up to give us the fights we so long want to see. Yeah. What's up, guys? Let me read some of your chat, messages here. Yo, front lines over here showing off the ranch, gang, gang. You know what I mean? It's an honor. Ah, and when you covering the pro box fights tonight, the pro box fights are on tonight, right? Yeah. What's tonight? Oh shit! You guys want to stay on with me and watch that? It's 8 o'clock right now. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get these. If you have no man, a man should never be allowed in the ring with a woman. I think Michael Jordan said it best. There was a time I forgot what woman it was. I think it was actually Clarissa Shields, right? There was some woman that was bragging that she wanted to fight some dude at some point, that she was willing to go in the ring with a man. And then legendary basketball superstar Michael Jordan texted out in a tweet. He said, I'm not gonna pay to watch a man beat on a woman when I'm against domestic violence. Even if you put it together, I don't want to see a man punching a woman in the face. And that killed the notion of the fight right there. When Michael Jordan texted that famous quote, that fight never took flight. I think the whole world like woke up. They all like went, what? Like, oh yeah, 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 nah. Yeah. This debate about whether women can beat men and men or women want to be equal to men and stuff like that. And no disrespect to any woman out there in the world, and I will never side with just the man race or anything like that, or but just hear me out on this one right here. And then you make your own judgment, you make your own assessment, right? Okay, first of all, I've never heard anything in my life where my opponent told me they wanted to be equal. There's no game I've ever played or any sport I've ever competed in or any job I've ever done where my rival, my competition said, "Hey, why don't we end the game in a draw? Why don't we be equal?" No one wants to be equal. The reason why you're trying to make yourself to your competition is for that one day you can pass them. So all this equality talk, no one ever wants to be equal. No, for nothing. After being equal for a while, one of you are going to be like, I'm going to want to be better than you again. It's just human nature. We don't stay equal for long in nothing. Nothing is ever equal. No. So when women are saying that they want to be equal, want equal rights, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Right? Okay. Second, when you're talking about a man fighting a woman, okay, let's just put it in his perspective. Whether you think there's women out there that can actually beat up a man, that's 100% true. I know I've seen women knock men the fuck out with one punch too. Um, but yeah, yeah, I've seen that. But to end the argument, whether a woman could beat up on a man, okay, take your best woman, which is probably Clarissa Shields. She's the heavyweight champion, and put her in against Tyson Fury. That's our best man. That's all. If Clarissa Shields can beat Tyson Fury, then I'm in agreement. But when you have to start to lower something, isn't that a disadvantage? Isn't that what you're talking about? You want equality, to be equal. Well, then the equal is the heavyweight champion against the heavyweight champion. That's equal. That is technically equal. So let's not do that. Our women are our mothers to our future children. Why would we want to hurt them? Why would I want to see a man punching a woman? I'm liable to jump in the ring and beat the shit out of that dude. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anyone beating on my sister. I don't want to see anybody beating up my mom. I don't want to see anybody beating up on my daughter. Yo, listen, I know my daughter might say some crazy shit, or my mom, or my sister, or your sister, or your mother, and women are, they want to show, their toughness, and yeah, it's cool, bro. But as a man, you know how it is, man, bro. Give little shorty a little, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing, baby. I support you in whatever you want to do. You want to fly a rocket? Fly a rocket. You want to jump out of a plane? Jump out of a plane. I'm just going to be right here, baby. You go jump out of the plane, but I'm going to take pictures. You know what I mean? I support her in whatever she want to do, man. I'll never tell her no, but nah, I don't want no dude punching her in the face, bro. Like, nah, I don't want to see that. No. Um, there are a lot of things in women's sports that I see a lot of stubborn women, and I think they're kind of fucking it up for a lot of other women. Like, yo, that idea that Shaquille O'Neal said, that just lower the rim a little bit, because what's missing in the women's NBA? He was like, they got the crossover, they got the shot, they got the swag, they got everything. They just don't got the dunk. So Shakur was like, and his daughter plays in it. Shakur was like, just lower their foot. The majority of the girls be able to come down and buff it. The girls NBA the girls took it personal. They got all bent out of shape. Nah, we want equal equality. The rim is 10 feet. Don't lower it. And volleyball, men and women volleyball, the net is lowered for the women this much. And it's great, but why do they have to always take it as like a disrespect? Nah, girls, we trying to work with you to try to help you build your sport up better. We're fans of women NBA too, but we're trying to give you a little, and they went and got mad. I was like, wow, bro, that's fucked up. I thought it was a great idea. I was like, yo, you lower that rim, these girls will be buffing it like, ha! Yo, I bet you'll get mad exciting. And they make it so personal sometimes. But look, women's sports, man, I got daughters and shit. I got sisters, and if my daughter wants to go and try to be something in this world, who am I to tell her no? I'm be like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You could be anything you want. And I'm cool with it, but there's a line where women and men need to respect each other too, and stop trying to like kill each other too. Why do the women want to beat us up so bad? Why do they always want to punch? Like, if you ask a girl right now, if you had an hour to do anything in the world, if I was a genie and I could do something, what would you do? They say, change me into a man so I could beat him up. They always want to beat us up. They're so mad. My girl's like, I'll be like, but what I do? She's like, you might have not did nothing. I just want to beat you up. I'm like, yo, and talk about love. All you want to do is beat me up all the time. Like, they always want to hurt us, so, but nah, you know, women can do whatever they want, you know. It's just that sometimes they should be a sport that just allow us to be in that sport. Sometimes a lot of my mans joke around. They can't see us happy doing nothing. They always want to invade everything. And I'll be like, bro, I felt like that at some point too, but you know, competition is competition, whether it's female or male, but I think that the competition should be equal. I'm in agreement with that. I just believe that the best female athlete should be the best female athlete. And with respect to everybody out there in the world, I mean, no disrespect to nobody, but I don't think that a transgender man should go into a woman's sport, dominating the sport, then a woman has to give her the award as the best female athlete. I don't think that that's fair competition. I don't think that's right. Maybe, I don't know, let them start their own league. I don't know if they have enough players, but you know, Clarissa Shields is a real woman. Amanda Serrano, a real women. They're fighting on even playing fields. They be out there beating another woman, and fine, that's great. Dude, no, come on, guys. The world is going crazy, and sometimes we gotta stop this. We gotta stop all of this. Yeah, I don't want nobody beating on my sister. No, dude. Nah, nah, I'm not paying to see that. Mm-mm. But as for boxing and us as men right now, like I said, America, we don't have a lot of titles currently. We don't have the most right now, so we really need to step up and get on our A game as far as that goes. Uh, there are a lot of opportunities coming up, and because Japan's gonna put up a lot of those titles too. Junto is fighting too again. There are a lot of big fights gonna be announced. There are a lot of rumor fights. I know about a few fights, but I'm hesitant. As you can see, what just took place, less than 24 hours ago with Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson being famously announced for November. You see how that shit goes, right? So yeah, I have a I have a list of fights that have not been at least to the point where the negotiations are serious. There've been like a couple fights that Shakur Stevenson got a verbal like handshake. I don't want to talk about that fight right now. I know about it, and I'm letting you guys know I know, but no, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. No, because and then people are gonna come on my show saying, "Hey, didn't you say this? Hey, I remember you said this." When I was just trying to give you a heads up, they're gonna fucking hold me to it. That's why some of these announcements or some more announcements you guys might know, but those are the fights have not been official. And if they're not in the at least in the negotiation where that are the contracts were signed, all we're looking for is the venue. That's pretty much a done deal. I'm announce that. I'm announce that. Even before they announce it, I'm announce it because the money part, which is the biggest fucking part of it, to get the two fighters to sign the contract. Once you got that, you're just dealing with, maybe the network and the venue. And that fight's probably most likely going to happen unless an injury. And that's when I'll announce those. So yeah, 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 yeah. You can't have equal without an equal left. My man, the dub Blade. Who that? Blade? Yo, who the hell is that? That's my man. Yo, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Oh, I had this shit blocked. Oh, no wonder I didn't see it. We gotta go back to that. Where's that at? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Damn, that shit's way down here. Man, I had my message board all messed up. We gotta throw that up there. You know what I mean? Show the love.
Another one.
What's your thoughts on trans women in boxing at the Olympics? Holy shitballs. No comment. Listen, man, I just feel that things should be even. If it was one trans fighting against another, that's equal. That's equal. I got no problem with that. I got no problems with trans competing. If there was enough of them, where in the same weight divisions, all of a sudden, remarkably, and you found enough of these transitional women, and they fought against each other, it would be even. Watching a trans fight a woman, it's not equal, brother. Even the laws designed like that in most cities, where that, if we're fighting and we both bare knuckle, and you was to get injured, we were fighting on equal force. If you had a stick and I had nothing, that's not of equal force. If you had a stick and I had a knife, not gonna equal force. A gun, stick, not of equal force. Two guns, equal force. You can claim self-defense. He shoots at me and I shoot at him. We had equal force. If he hits me with a stick and I shoot him, that's murder, right? So our laws are built around equal force, equal, we like a starting point, right? If you're asking me about trans in the Olympics, my man, it's just not equal. Just because you dress up as a woman, you put on makeup, that doesn't turn your internal structure. You got man strength, bro. And as a man, I don't know if women all know this or this is a man secret, but I believe the entire world should have been caught up by now. Men get 3 phases of strength. You get your adolescent, your teenager, and then your adult. This transgender woman is going through a period of transition, and we don't know where. Get the hell out. That's a man. No, that just not equal. And I'm all about being fair. When I talk to you guys about Naoya Inoue moving up, and some ridiculous fan would say, well, then tell him to fight Terrence Crawford. And I suggested that even if you were to blimp up Naoya Inoue to fight Terrence Crawford, it wouldn't be fair. He's not fighting him in his weight division. You're blimping him up. He's not going to look the same. He's not going to be the same fighter. And if you were to thin out Terrence Crawford and Naoya Inoue to beat him, I wouldn't give him that victory. Because you thinned out and you have to drain the American. That's not equal, man. You can't do that to Terrence Crawford. You can't do it. They're just too far apart. That's not. That's like a handicap matchup when they put a giant in the ring with 2 little guys. Still not, it's not equal, man. For Reed, that's why they got 2 guys in there. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's just not equal. And if it's not equal, then it's not right. Yeah, it's gotta be equal. Seven explosive fights. Say it, Bam Bam. Bam, I got fired at round 1. Nah, what you mean? What? Oh, I got hired. I'm sorry. See how bad my eyes are? I can barely see these letters. I be trying to figure out the words. Yo, dudes, I'm working on the glasses, bro. I'm gonna get them. My girl got me. She finally got me to go in and shit. I made the appointment. I just gotta get some nice ones or whatever, man. Cause my eyes be bad, bro. Yo, Bam, look at the newest member. You know what I mean? He said, yo, so now more cheating. Yo, front line. Was beating that Mexican girl worse than it. Oh, no. I don't want to read them out loud sometime because I repeat shit. Floyd versus the Big Show. Not fair. Not a fair fight. You need a brass knuckles. You know what I mean? Hey, yo. Listen. And August 3rd, we're having those big fights. August 20th, Jaime Munguia's coming back. So we have a couple big fights in there in August. There are a lot of guys that, like I said, I got a list of rumor fights that are coming out. I'm gonna go in tonight and tomorrow, make a couple phone calls to see if I could really announce some of these fights right here. Because I got 3 or 4 rumored fights that should, I've already seen a couple YouTube channels announce them, but I'm gonna do my due diligence so that I don't be that guy that fucking was like November, Shakur Stevenson and Tank, and then you know what I mean? I've been him, so I've learned my lesson. So before I announce things, so yeah. Hey yo, from now on, when we tune in to these fights on August 3rd, we're gonna do the Notre Dame's belt thing. You guys know how we do it all the time here at Round One Sports Talk. So we got the Notre Dame's belt on the line. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see if we can get a champion and someone can claim to know the exact round and how the opponents are going to win. They will be honored as the Notre Dame's champion here at Round One Sports Talk. And now that we have acquired Frontline, I can execute my plan. Frontline is gonna take rounds 1 through 6, and I'm gonna take rounds 6 through 12. Frontline, we can't lose. We can't lose, baby. We're about to be the champions. You know what I mean? Yo, listen. Yo, Zero. Listen, I can't have equal rights without equal. Yo, listen. Um, and we're promoting. Yo, yo, I got them all. I got them all. I got Armando taking, and Armando's gonna be the referee. All right. Hey, yo, Bam, you ain't winning, baby. You know, dog, you ain't taking the title now. Yo, one of them will win the fight, huh? Huh? Yo, all right. What's up, baby? Yo, we corrupting the sport. Yo, listen. Who thinks they can call the fight? Who thinks they know their boxer better? And this will speak to show that you're able to pick the win and where. So we have this prestigious thing that we go around in round one sports talk, and we write down the round before the fight start. We even go into unanimous decisions where that you can either pick a unanimous decision, a split decision, or majority decision, and you have to get it right in order to win. So those are the rules. We play every fight night. We have a great time. If you're tuning in and you're finding out, I encourage you to join us. We have a ball. We sit back. We talk about boxing, the ins and outs, and we all try to see who can be the next Notre Dame here at Round One Sports TV. So, guys, listen. Let me know what you think about these fights, guys. Come on. We got the newly acquired Frontline with the wrench. You know what I'm saying? Champion. You know what I mean? Hey, yo. Yeah, you still on probation, Frontline. Hey, yo. Bam, bam. Regulate. Hey, yo. Bam's like, you're superior, okay? Like, okay, yo, Bam. Yo, do you win the belt? Like I actually send you the belt? Nah, bro. The belt stays here. You just get the right to claim it every, whoever wins. You know, and not unless you're gonna send me like $300. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what that shit costs. I think actually that one was more. This one was a Stone Cold Steve Austin replica. That's what this one was. That one was a Conor McGregor UFC replica when Conor McGregor went on his run. And then you guys know the sanctioning bodies. I got all 5 of them. There's 4 major sanctioning bodies, but maybe in the future, the IBO legitimate becomes a world championship, and we'll probably have 4 titles, and there'll be a 5 belt era. Imagine 5 belts on your guys, even be more exciting. So yeah, so there's the IBO, that's the WBC, the IBF, WBA, and WBO. Yeah. So like that. But yeah, yeah, nah. But I flashed the belt and shit so that, what I'm saying, the guys have something to look forward. I thought I'd make it interesting, instead of just saying it. But they remarkably, I do all this for my channel and they call me a cheater. Like I be cheating and shit. Like I wrote a 2 or something on this piece of paper last week and I erased my thing. You don't need to see that. You don't. There's nothing to see here. Okay. I run a tight shift. Okay. Nah, I mess around, but the winner's the winner. The winner's the winner. We had some close calls here though. With that, what fight was it? The Jerron Boots Ennis fight, right? Where it was Ghost Rider picked the 5th round and I picked the 6th round. And technically he made it into the 6th round, But since they're saying he never came into the 6th round, they counted it a 5th round knockout, and I lost that week. Yeah, and Ghost Rider edged me out, for the Notre Dame's precision. And Bam had a split decision, but they gave it to the other guy. Yeah, so it gets fun in here. We have our moments and stuff. We have a great time. We have a great energy, and we watch the fights together. More importantly, we were gonna watch them together anyway. We might as well have some fun while we do it. You know what I mean? And shoot the shit. Absolutely. Yo, they want to strip me from the Notre Dame's belt. Yo, they gotta strip me of the title. Yo, hold on. I want to talk to the sanctioning body. I guess that would be me. Uh, yeah. You know what? I'm in agreement with you guys. Strip that guy Edwin. He's stripped. That's it. Get him out of here. No, wait. Hold on. Yo, I'm even hard to myself. I just got stripped from the belt. Yo. The Chat family wants to strip me, huh? I think Crawford versus that one guy is an easy pick. I definitely get this right. You think you're Lionheart, you think that one's you're gonna get it right? That dude is strong. That dude is strong. Israel, he's strong. Israel, um, he's a little slow for my liking, right? And he has a tendency of like leaning it like you don't technically want your chin and your front foot to co-align. You're leaning a little too forward. He's leans a little too forward because of his lack of speed. He's that much more closer to the target. I don't think you can be that comfortable in a ring against a fighter such as Terrence Crawford. Now, the only thing I haven't seen is how he holds Terrence Crawford's punch. Meaning when Terrence Crawford cracks him, does he take a step back? Does he wobble? Or does Terrence Crawford hit him and Israel looks at him and walks right through him? Because Israel, let's keep it in mind, he's been in this weight division his entire career. He's been hit by guys this big for for as short as his career is anyway, with very few little fights, they've all been there. Let's not forget Terrence Crawford's moving up. Now, the one thing that I do an investigation to a fighter by their body of work to try to figure out if their power is going to translate to the next weight division. Terrence Crawford has moved up 3 weight divisions. He's currently like on a 10-fight knockout streak, even more, right? So what does that tell you? That his power transitioned throughout every division with no problem. Meaning, Terrence Crawford can crack. He was born with that shot. That shot was blessed to him. It's going to go with him. I no longer start to question his power. But is his power enough for that size guy? His power is going to be there. It's going to be his Terrence Crawford power. That doesn't necessarily mean, like, for instance, you can, if you're 150 and you crack a guy 150, you might knock him out, right? You, there's nothing wrong with your power. You turn around and you hit a guy 200 pounds at 150, he might just look at you. You got the same power. The guy's just bigger. It's going to take a little bit more to put him on his ass. That's why there's weight divisions. You see? So he might have the same power, but can it move him? I don't know the answer to that question until I see them in the ring. There's a version of this fight that I can see Terrence Crawford making this fight real easy. That this guy really doesn't catch up to him. Terrence Crawford's too elusive, too fast, too smart. His footwork. Ismail Marjavold has deceptional footwork. His footwork is really good. His footwork is good for a man that's stiff. It's exceptionally good. He could switch from righty to lefty. If Terrence Crawford switched to the left, he's going to switch to the left with no problem. Terrence switches back to the right, he's going to switch to the right. Both men understand fighting. He's slightly faster. Not sure if he's the stronger puncher. It's going to be an interesting challenge. So, Terrence Crawford's basic challenge is probably going to be to touch him and don't get touched. Don't get hit with anything big. Always block and work till you start to break him down. I think Terrence Crawford is going to end the fight, I would say roughly 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, right around there. I think Terrence Crawford is going to get him out of there. It's going to be right around there. If he does anything other than that, congratulations. You know, I'm not no Nostradamus here, or I will be. You know what I mean? But I could see the fight playing out like that. I could also see Terrence Crawford getting caught. Now let's remember that there has been slower guys that have caught Terrence Crawford with some big punches. The thing is that Terrence Crawford doesn't go into all fights the same. He doesn't. Terrence Crawford is that kind of fighter with that kind of coach that they actually devise a game plan. They're not just letting their fighter go in there and hope for the best because he's skillful. They're not just training their fighter, keeping them in shape and saying, you go in there and use everything we taught you. No. Terrence Crawford's team is a world-class team. That's the top of the food chain, right? They've been here on the top throughout multiple weight divisions. They've experienced championship fights, and they know what it is to make a champion. They know everything they have to do. So he's going to come up with a good game plan. Terrence Crawford. Now, I'm interested to see what his game plan is. But I still think that Terrence Crawford, this guy might be big. This guy might be strong. But I still know 100% Terrence Crawford is the more of the skilled of the fighters. Terrence Crawford is the more battle tested out of the both fighters. And I believe that Terrence Crawford is the smarter of the two fighters. Whether or not size is going to play a factor in this fight, we'll see when the fight happens. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Because that I have to see that. Yeah, in this scenario, yes, because of the fact that Terrence Crawford's moving up. It's not like I'm talking about Terrence Crawford fighting someone in his own weight division, and that wasn't in the equation. Now I can, I'm gonna pick a winner in this fight, based off just their skill and what they look like in their weight division. Now that's proper information. Terrence Crawford is going into uncharted water, the unknown. I'm not going to judge him as a fighter at 147 and at the unknown at a new weight division. No, what the fuck? I would be guessing. I'd actually be sitting here making shit up for you. And if anybody else is doing that on your other YouTube channels, then they're making shit up. No one has any proof or any record of what Terrence Crawford looks like at 154. No one. I don't give a fuck what he sparred at, what he weighed at one time. No. Has he ever actually fought a fight at 154? No. Then you don't know what you're talking about. What are you guessing? You're feeding them stories. That's what you're doing? Carlos, what's up, baby? Armando, what's up? Yo, it's about look, front line. It's look, if he doesn't possess, like, let's say that Terrence Crawford might not have like Terrence Crawford might have that knock one hand knockout power. If you're just standing there and he hits you, he's probably gonna knock you out. The problem is that Israel Mazamov is a skilled boxer, and you're not gonna catch him just flush like that. I don't see Terrence Crawford catching him with a shot with all his power. It's usually a shot that has good power on it. It was well timed or well placed. You know, because good timing and technique can beat power. Timing, well placed punches can generate a power shot for you. It can make you, with good technique, you could look like one of the hardest punchers in the world. It's all technique and timing at the right distance. You can knock anybody out. You just gotta know what you're doing. And you actually have to have a little snap. Just as little. It only takes 7 pounds of pressure to cause your brain to go and cause that bubble. You're going out. You're going out. Anybody could get knocked out. Some men is tougher. The the hardest men to knock out are heavyweights. They are the hardest on the planet to knock out. When you see a guy knock out another heavyweight, that's pretty impressive. Any heavyweight that knocks out another heavyweight. Why? Heavyweights don't cut weight. They don't gotta cut weight. They're fully replenished, like fucking all day round, even while they train. So their body and their brain has water and a lot of liquid. Um, when you cut weight, you drain all the water out of your body. The first organ in your brain to release all the water is your brain. The last organ to take it in is your brain. Leading into fight night, some of these fighters are still dehydrated a little bit, just enough, because if the difference between that is if you're hydrating, you're drinking a lot of water, the space to cause you to get knocked out is a lot smaller. It's like this because you're hydrated. But when you're dehydrated and you don't got water in your body, it opens up like this. And the vacuum suck that whips back from your brain, from your skull, causes you to um it makes that suction and that's where you go out. That's how you get knocked out. So if you're not properly hydrated, you might drop from a easier shot because your head will snap back quicker. Yeah. And that's why it's hard to knock out like heavier dudes because they're all liquid and they could take it. Bang, and plus their body mass. Yeah. So we good, Edwin? Yo, Armando, what you doing to me up here? I'm gonna go back later and read all them Spanish messages. Cause once you type that shit, that's up there forever. All right, Armando? And I let a couple of them slide, and Titi done slid in the room and was like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, este Armando se cree que es listo, ¿ah? Se cree que se lo sabe toda. Me está escribiendo comentarios ahí y yo no lo estoy leyendo y me van rápido, pero no te preocupes. Yo dije, ahorita mismo yo voy y me paso, me siento ahí y lo voy a leer. Yo, Armando. Yeah, 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 that's you. Yeah. Yeah, so yo, I think that these fights right here, August 3rd, are gonna be a great fight. I can't wait to see Andy Cruz in the fight. I want to see how he looks. You know, David Morrell, I want to see his fight. I'm interested enough to see how Andy the Destroyer Ruiz does against Big Baby Miller. Because Andy the Destroyer Ruiz is one of the fastest heavyweights we have today. If you want to keep it funky, like he's fast, he's fast, and as you can see, he can crack. When he hit Anthony Joshua with that shot, Anthony Joshua truly never recovered from that shot. He never recovered from it. His legs went out from underneath him and they started to come back a little bit, but he was a wounded duck and it wasn't going to take much. His legs just came out from underneath him. He got hit right here. Liquid, e- li- liquid equilibrium was off. And yeah, he never recovered. So, that fight between Big Baby Miller and Andy the Destroyer Ruiz, I think that's gonna be an amazing fight. It's gonna be power versus speed. They're both familiar with each other. Big Baby Miller knows he's in for a fight. He's gonna have to be that much faster. I hear somewhere between 45 pounds he lost. Somewhere in between that. That's a lot of fucking weight, bro. you know, um, and he's still gonna be big as shit. He almost coming in tipping the scale at 300 pounds at his previous fight. I think he tipped the scale at 296, 298, something like that. So he lost 45 pounds. He looks focused, dedicated, training with Bozy Ennis, you know, and the Boots family. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how that works out because interesting enough, he has another fighter on the card, which is Andy Cruz, and that's two fighters on the same card. Um, and I talked about this, and let's see how their preparation and how their team handled that, having two fighters on the same card on the same night. There has been many coaches that have done this. Just the other night, I remember there was a coach that had to run back to the locker room real quick to be next to his fighter. I forget who it was. I remember it was just recently. I just watched that. So I mean, these coaches they have their own gym, their own system. They'll devise a plan. Let's see how it unfolds. Let's see how these fights play out. So there are a lot of good fights. Hey, yo, let me check into these fights. Somebody had reminded me about the fights that are on right now. Are these fights on right now? And who's fighting? All right. So we don't have anything right here. So let's check. I have another account with ESPN. I got an ESPN account too as well. Where are these fights on? I know that some of these platforms have a tendency of changing up and not always streaming on the same one. I'm not just gonna assume just because last week it streamed there that it would be on. She got a weird way of changing. Yo, Junto Nakatoni, bro, he ended that dude quick, bro. They're showing me his fight here. Look at let's see what they're saying. Top rank. Charlie P. Style. Crawford Madrimov. Luis Miller. What's the biggest fight on this weekend's pay-per-view card for Crawford Madrimov? What do you guys think about Ryan Garcia going over with Floyd Mayweather and trying to make a few dollars over there on exhibitions? What do you guys think about that? I think they should allow the kid to do whatever he wants over there, and they shouldn't show no favoritism. If you're gonna do it for one boxer, then you got to do it for the other. If they're allowing Conor Ben to fight in the United States of America, when his license has been suspended overseas. And the loophole is he comes over here to fight. If you're going to allow that guy to get away with it, America blatantly knows he's suspended for PE use over there. This ain't no fucking secret. And they're allowing him to fight over here because technically in the US, he never popped dirty. He never did anything wrong here. So if you're going to let him do it, then I got no complaints about Ryan Garcia doing it. Some people feel like Ryan Garcia, a punishment should be a punishment, and the punishment should be severe. I guess some of Devin Haney's attractors or supporters, I guess they want to see him miserable. For a whole year, Ryan Garcia needs to be sitting there crying, thinking about what you did. You know what I mean? Type shit. And Ryan Garcia is having a fucking ball. And I guess they don't like that shit. And when they heard that Ryan Garcia was going to go out there to perhaps put on some exhibition when Floyd is going to shoot it back with the Gotti's son 3 or whatever, right? So he told them, come out here, make some money with me. And then a lot of fucking people got butthurt by that. And they were like, nah, fuck that. Ryan Garcia, like, nah. And yeah. So what do you guys think about that? So listen, fight fans, that's all I got for you guys today. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Tune in while we watch these fights and we go for the prestigious Notre Dame's belt. No, it does not get sent to you. It stays here, but you get claim to it on the channel, and it fluctuates because every week you're gonna have to put it on the line. So by definition, I can't mail it to you because I got to be here next week. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know what I mean? Just think about that. All right. But join me. We'll have an amazing time. We're going to watch the fights anyway. Why not have a few laughs, talk about the fights, and really see who can pick these fights. You know what I'm saying? Front line, Edwin is on YouTube Pro Box. What? This right here is ESPN. What's another one? What's another rule? Just break another rule. Fuck it. Yeah, I mean, nah. Technically, the real reason why I'm okay with it, with Ryan Garcia going out there and doing exhibitions, it keeps him active, and we don't lose Ryan Garcia to the suspension, and he doesn't, because of the welfare of his own being in his life. I'd rather him not turn into a drug addict or get killed behind a wheel being drunk than rather than compete in the ring. I don't wish that on no man. And if he doesn't have friends that love him enough to stop him from doing what he's doing, may God be with him. Because obviously his friends are not. They just want the party to keep going. So when it was said that he can go out there and put together some exhibition fights, at least he would be training. At least he would be boxing. So on his return, he would be semi ready and he would still have boxing in his heart. A year away from the sport of smoking, drinking, and God knows what else he's doing, we might not get him back. And I'm not that resentful of a man to wish that upon another man. This is only boxing, and whatever he did doesn't merit for me to have hate and destruction of his life. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So, in fair nature, I actually think it would be good for the young man to at least be doing something with boxing. And if other boxers are doing it blatantly in front of us, then why not let the kid do it? It might just save his life. So, fight fans, I hope you enjoyed this one. Please give the videos a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell notification icon. It'll alert you every time I go on. So I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace.